Alright guys, welcome back to my 7-day water fast little series or whatever. Today's day 4. Not feeling too bad, you know? Let me pop a little water real quick. Yeah, that's some good stuff. But yeah, today we're gonna be watching a video on what happens in your body after 100 days of not eating food. Now, I have been, it's gonna be a little longer than 100 days for me, because it's 7 days. 7 days doesn't equal 100 hours. We're gonna watch this thing. We're gonna see what's going on. My name's Moussa. I'm 15 years old. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. First, before we start this, I'm gonna talk about my day. I woke up super tired. I feel like after every single day, you get more and more exhausted. Every single day, you get more and more exhausted. So when you wake up, at least. Every time I get up, I feel better, But when I'm laying there, it's so crazy. But yeah, we're gonna start with this video. Some of y'all have been asking in the comments where I got this idea from my father, alright? And he wants his credits too. He's been bugging me about it. You didn't tell him. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, he didn't even. But yeah, he told me about it. He was low-key telling me about his father lore, and then he was like, yeah, I did a 7-day water fast, and then all of a sudden I woke up one day and I was like, what if I did that? I low-key want I low-key want to try it. So here we are, trying it, and yeah, it's pretty cool. He also wanted me to tell you guys the difference between a regular water fast and a liquid fast. He said, liquid fast, you can drink whatever you want. As long as it's liquid, you can drink whatever. Now, water fast, you're just drinking straight water, okay? Or just anything water related that has no calories in it, no sugar in it, just water. See what we can learn, guys.
What happens in your body if you don't eat food for 100 hours? This is gonna shock you. 100 hours is 4 days and 4 hours.
Yeah, I'm not doing it for that long. I'm doing it for longer, actually. I'm not doing it for 4 days and 4 hours. I would have been done today if that was the case, but
100 hours.
Okay.
Be prepared to have your mind blown. Amazing things happen inside of your body when you remove the interference. Fasting is one of the best ways to harness this inner physician within your body called the innate intelligence. And it might sound a little crazy to go without food for 100 days, but if you put things in perspective, you'll understand that we have stored body fat to use that for energy during a fast. So let's go through the timeline here of what is happening inside of the body throughout those 100 hours. Through hours 1 through 12, not much is happening with the exception of your body is going through digestion. Once you complete a meal, of course you digest that food. It goes from the large intestine, small intestine, out through the colon. That'll take about 12 to 14 hours. And that's...
Yeah, I was definitely digesting. 100%, I was definitely digesting. I felt that 100%. Like, that was crazy for me,
basically what's happening during those first few hours here. You're eliminating the food you ate. There's something else that's also happening. You're lowering the hormone insulin. When you eat food, you raise your blood sugar levels. Insulin is produced to clear that excess glucose out of your bloodstream, shuttle it into your cells, which includes your liver and muscle cells called your glycogen stores. But if there's excess glucose, then that could be shuttled into your body fat. So there might be some water loss happening in terms of water weight dropping off your body as insulin drops during those first 12 to 14 hours. At around the 14-hour mark of this fast, you're gonna notice something. You're gonna notice that you're having some mental clarity. If you struggle with brain
fog. No. No, bro. This is when you go insane. This is actually when you go insane.
fog and maybe procrastination, forgetting people's names, have trouble reading and focusing, that starts to improve around that 14-hour mark of the fast.
I'm gonna tell you right now, 14 hours, the second day, what did I say on the second day? Second day, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I'm so tired. I wasn't just tired physically, I was tired mentally. I was tired internally. I said that. Bro, maybe not, maybe not for me. Maybe for some other people. But for me, I was just laying, like I was laying down. I was so tired. I was so tired. I was exhausted, actually exhausted.
Fast. This is because around the 14-hour mark, you've now completed digestion. And one of my favorite benefits to fasting is this process called energy diversion. We know it takes a lot of energy to process food. When you're done processing that food, now that energy is diverted towards other areas of your body, including your brain. Your brain is the greediest organ inside of your body. It's only 2% of your entire weight, but uses about 20% of your energy requirements. So you start to divert energy towards the brain. Resources such as blood flow and nutrients to the brain. So you're gonna notice, wow, I actually feel like my brain is on fire in a really good way. This could also be because now
Okay, wait, no, this is low-key true because I'd say during the third day, actually, the third day, I started to feel like you wake up in the morning, you're tired, but after you get up and you're actually like moving around a little bit, you do start to feel a little better mentally. A little, You're still going crazy off that food because you want you start to lose your mind, low key. Water fast at your own risk, guys.
ketones are starting to get produced around that 14 to 16-hour mark. This part, the ketone part, is different depending on how metabolically healthy you are, but for most people, ketones are now produced, and ketones are simply a byproduct of burning stored fat. What unlocks fat burning is insulin. Insulin needs to drop. During those 14 hours, every hour you're in that fast, you are lowering insulin more and more and more. And around that 14-hour mark, now you start using stored body fat for energy. That energy, or the body fat, the fatty acids, are now sent to your liver and ketones are produced.
I'm gonna say this. I do like, I don't get bloated anymore, obviously, because you're not eating. And also, like, the fat around my waist is going away. It's going away because of this, But yeah, I was low-key happy about that. But like sometimes when I start laughing like really hard, bro, you really feel it in your side. And you're like, dang, ow. Like it's kind of uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable feeling, and like still even now it's an uncomfortable feeling. But like you start to you do start to get mentally better. Like you start to get mentally better. You can think better. You can be more outgoing until you see the food. But yeah, it's it's a process, and I'm actually kind of enjoying it. Only part I don't like is waking up in the morning because you literally have no energy in the morning. You feel like you're just melting in your bed and like you can't get up. But like besides that, it's fine. It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
ketones is called beta hydroxybutyrate, which actually crosses the blood-brain barrier and fuels your brain. This is why there's a brain reboot happening around that 14-hour mark. Now, as we move on here, around 16, 17 hours in, again, this is different for everyone, but for most people, around this time of the fast, you start to ramp up a process called autophagy. The Greeks defined autophagy as eat thyself. Sounds weird, but it's actually pretty cool. Your body is so smart. I mentioned the innate intelligence. When you're around 16, 17 hours without food, your body thinks, whoa, we're not getting food energy. We need to get energy from somewhere. Let's look for cells that are, your body thinks, whoa, we're not getting food energy. We need to get energy from somewhere. Let's look for cells that are not functioning well. Cells that are preventing you from producing energy so you feel amazing. Cells that are so inflamed they have difficulty burning fat, they're stuck burning sugar. And autophagy is the process, kind of like Pac-Man, going within your cells and cleaning out the junk. Now, autophagy is kind of always occurring inside of the body. Exercise, strength training, and groceries, put them in front of the old expired groceries and close that door, come back hours later, you open up that refrigerator door, this is gonna be a toxic, diseased environment. This is the same thing that is inside of your body, meaning you have cells, mitochondria, proteins, fats that have expiration dates on them. Autophagy is the process of getting rid of those expired cells. About 60 billion process reaches its peak around the 48 to 72 hour mark of your fast here.
I'm gonna say this. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I do feel better. I might even work out today because I'm feeling that. I'm feeling not that good, but I'm feeling better than I was a few days ago. You know, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Process. This is profound when it comes to preventing diseases like cancer, autoimmune disease, and even reversing some of these conditions, because these cells that are not functioning well, they're called senescent cells. They're also called zombie cells, as I refer to them in my brand new book, Metabolic Freedom. These cells kind of just sit in your body like zombies. They infect other cells and make them become zombie cells. They have no function. They have no benefit. And when they're in your immune system, they're called immunosenescent cells, and it could lead to autoimmune conditions. When it's cancer cells, or I should say precancerous cells, that could lead to cancerous cells. So autophagy, your body is so stinking smart, it goes for those cells that are not functioning well. You see, we are hardwired, your body is, your DNA is hardwired for the old school. Your body is hardwired for times of famine. And autophagy is one of those things your body ramps up during a fast to deal with senescent cells. Not to mention, there's something called counter-regulatory hormones that are also getting turned on during this part of your fast. You're gonna notice around that 16 to 17 hour mark, your energy levels actually increase, your focus and clarity increases as well. And yeah, the ketones play a role there, but those counter-regulatory hormones are what's happening. You see, these are hormones that run counter to insulin. Around 17 hours, you're gonna have low levels of insulin, and these hormones run counter to insulin. Cortisol, glucagon, human growth hormone. This is your body's way of literally pumping you full of energy because it thinks you're going through a famine, and it needs to help you stay focused and energized to catch your next meal, to hunt and kill your next meal so you could stay alive. It doesn't understand that I could go on my phone, hit Uber Eats button, and have somebody knocking on my door with food in 40 minutes. It doesn't understand Uber Eats or DoorDash. It only understands the famine. So you could actually trick it and it'll pump you full of energy. And now you have focus, clarity, energy, and you're going through this autophagy state around the 17 hour mark. And one more thing here, there's also a process called mitophagy that occurs where your mitochondrial membranes and mitochondria now start to get cleaned out as well. So you have autophagy, mitophagy, and that's getting ramped up around the 16 to 17 hour mark during your fast. 24 hours in, we get a gut reset. This is where now you've, of course, completed your digestion. You got ketones flowing through your bloodstream. You got the counter-regulatory hormones activated. You got autophagy cleaning out the house, and your digestive system's going through this complete reset where you're fixing things, right? Leaky gut is a big issue. It's also called intestinal permeability, where your tight junctions are open and food particles go undigested into the bloodstream, leading to a hyperimmune system, which is called autoimmune disease. So when you are 24 hours into a fast, you get this gut reset. MIT research shows that 24-hour fast in mice completely restored the intestinal stem cells, which is super cool. So yeah,
that's really cool. I guess that means I'm real empty, you know? Like, I'm so ready for it to be done, but I'm so patient. Like, I can wait just a little bit longer, just a few more days until it's time to eat.
You have your intestinal stem cells that start to get produced to heal your gut. So if you struggle with digestive issues like gas, bloating, acid reflux, indigestion, this is where you start to fix all of those conditions 24 hours in this fast. As we start to get closer to the 36-hour mark of this fast, you start to burn a ton of fat. As I mentioned earlier, your body fat, and I'm referring to the fat around your love handles, the visceral fat around your organs, that's simply stored energy. 36 hours into a fast, you start to use that for a fuel source. You start to burn stored body fat and you start to slim down rapidly. Yeah, there's some water weight being lost, but you're actually burning your fat cells. You're using it for energy. So ketones start to rise up as well, which overall helps you feel good, lowers inflammation. 36 hours into a fast is a great way to burn fat. You see, we want to start burning through our sugar reserves, which you do, and then tap into the body fat, and you activate that deep into this fast around that 36-hour mark. And speaking of fat loss, I have a free ebook you could download right now.
All y'all better go download his ebook. Go download his ebook.
Now by scanning the QR code on your screen, or if you're listening on the podcast, if you go to the link in the notes.
Like, y'all really think I'm playing? Go download his ebook.
Or simply go to burnfatbook.com. It's a 7-day protocol to lose 10 pounds of fat in 7 days. So if fat loss is one of your goals this year, go download that for free over at burnfatbook.com or scanning the QR code on the screen. This brings us to the 72-hour mark of your fast. This is where, according to research by Dr. Walter Longo and others, you see stem cell activity. We mentioned autophagy kind of peaks at this time, but you see stem cell activity, especially in the bone marrow. And stem cells regenerate new white blood cells. So it actually improves your immune system. It effectively reboots your entire immune system at the 72-hour mark, which is very cool. Now, this is especially important for those who have autoimmune disease or somebody who is recovering from immunosuppressant drugs or those undergoing chemotherapy. It's used a lot for that. It's this complete immune system reset around the 72-hour mark. Now, something else is also happening here around the 72-hour mark. You're getting something called a dopamine reset. There are D2 receptor sites of dopamine in your brain. Look, dopamine is involved with reward, processing, motivation. It helps you stay inspired, prevents you from procrastinating. It helps with your happiness and joy and gratitude. Unfortunately, a lot of people have dopamine resistance, similar to insulin resistance, where you've spiked your insulin for so long, now you are resistant to the hormone insulin. With dopamine, it's very similar. We have dopamine hits all the time with social media, TV, all the stimulation around us, and we find ourselves feeling depressed or sad or not motivated because our dopamine receptor sites are blunted. We have dopamine resistance. So what if you could reset that? And you can. Around a 72-hour mark of your fast, you start to see the D2 receptor sites for dopamine get activated. That simply means you kind of experience a spiritual experience. I know the first time I did a 5-day water fast, I noticed this. I felt so happy. I felt so grateful. It was like a spiritual experience, and it's no coincidence that every religion practices some form of fasting, right? Some form of long version of fasting here. So if you struggle with motivation, if you struggle with procrastination, and you have dopamine resistance, the 72-hour mark is gonna be really special for you. You're gonna notice it right away. And simply put, you create neurogenesis, which is the growth of new neurons, which actually use dopamine better, more efficiently. At the end of your fast here, 100 hours, remember 4 days, 4 hours is 100 hours, you start to see a surge in stem cells. I mentioned the autophagy process that's happening throughout this fast. There are some cells in your body that have no function. And when your innate intelligence starts to clean out the cells, and it has determined that these cells do not function, they're the zombie cells I mentioned earlier, your innate intelligence sends a signal to activate something called apoptosis, which is programmed cell death. And this is happening at a high percentage, a high rate towards the end of this 100-hour fast. Once your body, your innate intelligence, gets rid of that cell, it sends another signal for a stem cell. And the amazing thing about this is that that new cell, that stem cell, could be used for your liver if you have fatty liver disease. It could be used for your heart, for your brain. The innate intelligence will determine where that stem cell goes and it'll heal that area. This is very cool. I remember during the 100-hour mark of my fast, the first time I did a 5-day water fast, I noticed something interesting. I started to notice my lower back was bothering me. I was getting this pulsating pain. And for many years, I would throw out my back doing deadlifts at the CrossFit I used to own. I used to have a lot of back issues. And I thought, wow, why am I having back pain around the 100-hour mark? It was the autophagy and the stem cells healing that area. So you might notice some pain in certain areas that you've had injuries in the past. That is your innate intelligence.
I never got injured before, you know what I'm saying? I never been injured like that. But that's actually kind of cool. Y'all need to lock in on this. Like peep it. Like this low-key interesting. And yeah, I have been feeling grateful. I'm grateful for all of you guys, all your comments, all your likes, all your subscribes, everything. I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for all the support. I'm grateful for all the feedback. And don't be shy. Like if you have something to say it in the comments. If you like the video, go ahead and like that video, hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and hit the notification button so you know when I post, which is every day for 7 days. But, just in case it's late or early, you miss it, then it'll be there in your notifications. And yeah.
Healing that area. This is absolutely incredible. And I want to get into some specific Q&As that I get asked on this topic. I have a brand new book called Metabolic Freedom, published with Hay House, being released May 13th, 2025. This book outlines...
All right, we're going to skip this one for now, guys. But, go check out the book if you're interested.
Exclusive...
I might check it out.
On this podcast, free mini course and exclusive interviews. Click the link down below or go to metabolicfreedombook.com. Okay, let's get into your top questions here. The first question is this, and I got asked this a lot when I used to own my CrossFit gym. Will you lose muscle during this 100-hour fast?
I'm gonna tell you guys what I think off the bat. I think it's no. I think it's because you're burning your fat first. You're not necessarily losing muscle, but I could be wrong. Let's see what you got to say.
Fast. The truth is you might, and is that a bad thing? All right, when we think about muscle loss and fasting, for sure, if you do too much fasting and it's excessive and you don't get enough protein, essential amino acids, over time, you will lose hard-earned muscle mass. But if you're doing a 100-hour fast from time to time, not every month, maybe once a year or once every other quarter, it's actually not going to be a problem when it comes to muscle mass because your body raises human growth hormone. There might be some muscle volume lost, and that's what is usually measured. And people who say, don't fast, you're going to lose muscle, they're looking at muscle volume, which is more of like fiber and water mass, not necessarily muscle protein. And what we don't think about is what happens when you break the fast and eat high quality protein and build that protein back. You can actually get stronger. Human growth hormone is a big player here. Look, celebrities pay thousands of dollars every year, and athletes sometimes, to get human growth hormone injected into them. Well, you could actually get a huge boost in human growth hormone during this 100-hour fast. Human growth hormone is fat-burning, anti-aging, muscle-building, and muscle-preserving. And studies even show a 24-hour fast raised human growth hormone 2,000% in men and 1,300% in women. Your body is smart. It's not going to burn muscle mass because it's going to burn the fat first. Now, if you're very lean, 6% body fat or less, probably not a good idea to do a 100-hour fast. You probably will tap into some muscle mass here. But if you have body fat, of course your body's going to use that. It's intelligent. Why would it burn muscle when you have all this fat? That's like saying, hey, it's the summer. I know winter is coming around in a few months, so I'm going to store all this firewood for the cold winter months. Winter rolls around, you have all this firewood, but instead of using that, you chop up the couch and throw that into the furnace. Well, that's stupid. You got all this firewood. Oh. Same thing with your body fat. You have all this body fat, your body's gonna use that first. So I would not be concerned with muscle loss during a 100-hour fast, as long as you don't do it too frequently.
As I
Next
thought.
question, what can I drink during the 100-hour fast?
I'm calling you out. I'm calling. My dad told me. So it was on the second day, and you know, my cousin and my sister is downstairs, and I walk downstairs and I asked them, I'm like, is it cheating to drink tea during my water fast? And they were like, it's not cheating if you don't put sugar in it, which made sense because it's just water with some leaves in it, and there's no sugar, there's no added sugar, there's no calories. So I'm like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. I make the tea, I whip up the tea. My dad comes back home, he sees the tea, he's like, you can't do that. Tea's a juice. Brother. And he made it sound convincing, and then I searched it up later on. Tea's not a juice unless you add sugar. And you can definitely drink tea with no sugar during your water fast. Try it. Like, it's not gonna taste amazing, but it's not gonna be horrible. Drink some tea. It works. That's just what I think. Let's see what he says.
Tea is safe. Supplements that are not fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, you don't necessarily want to have that during a fast because you need to have that with food to help increase absorption. Plus, some people could take fat-soluble vitamins during a fast and get nauseous. Coffee depends, right? If you really want to maximize the amazing benefits I outlined here, you just want to have water and salt. That's it. Coffee could be okay, but you got to test your blood sugar to see if it's raising your blood sugar levels. I know when I first did my 5-day water fast, I did have coffee, but it does push innate intelligence certain directions. And if you could just do a strict water-only fast with just sea salt, minerals in water, even hydrogen water is the best, that would be the best way to perform your fast. Next question, should I exercise during the 100-hour fast?
I experience like light exercises. I also searched it up. Light exercises work. Like after this, I'm not gonna do nothing crazy. I'm probably just gonna hit the plank, like 3 sets of the plank for like 2 minutes. Because like light exercises, don't do nothing crazy. Don't be like going on a jog every day, a mile jog every day. But nah, like don't do nothing crazy. Like you gotta keep it simple so you don't like explode or something.
You can, I've had some students do it, but I don't recommend it. You want to use your resources and energy for healing, not necessarily for exercise. So it's up to you. I recommend just going for walks. Personally, I don't do any strength training or high intensity exercise, just very low to moderate exercise like walking during a long fast like this. Next question. Should I do this 100-hour fast if I don't have much experience practicing fasting?
I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. For religion purposes, I would fast from sunrise to sunset. That's like maybe like probably like 13, 14 hours maybe of fasting every day for like a month. And it's not bad because you do it and you're hungry throughout the day, but at least you're eating that day. Like that was the only experience I had before this. And I searched it up there like you should you should start with 3-day water fast before doing the 7-day water fast. I found that out. I found out on the third day, and I was like, bro, are you serious right now? Are you really serious? But nah, he's probably gonna say the same thing. Like, you gotta have some experience. Don't just like if you're doing a 7-day water fast, don't just jump straight into the 7 days like me. Don't be an idiot. Practice. Do some practices. Like maybe like try cutting your sugar first, cutting your calories a little bit, and then do it. Don't be an idiot. Let's see what he says.
No, you don't want to go right into a 100-hour fast if you've never done a 24-hour fast. Fasting is like a muscle. You develop it over time. Fasting is like a chainsaw. I always say this, it's like a chainsaw. A chainsaw could get you amazing results as long as you read the user manual. Fasting could also get you amazing results if you understand it. A chainsaw could hurt you if you use it too quickly, too aggressively, you don't know really how to use it. Fasting's the same way. So you want to build up the fasting muscle. Complete a 24-hour fast, a 36-hour fast, and kind of work your way up to feeling good, and then you want to complete the 100-hour fast. Next question is this: what are your thoughts on dry fasting?
I don't know what dry fasting is, so let's just see what he says.
I've done a 24-hour dry fast before, never 100 hours. I don't recommend that. That's pretty extreme. And dry fasting in general is very extreme. So work with a practitioner on this, and even the 100-hour
Dry fast is like nothing, like no eating. Let me know what a dry fast is in the comments.
fast, probably a good idea to work with a practitioner on this. I teach this to my Keto Camp Academy students. I work with them, and the coaches I work with or I've trained work with them on this. But dry fasting, there's two types. There's a soft dry fast and a hard dry fast. Okay. A soft dry fast means you don't have any water for that fast, no supplements, you don't put anything in your mouth, but you can wash your hands, take a shower, go outside in the rain. There's some hydration that occurs when you do that. A hard dry fast means, of course, no food, no water, but you don't brush your teeth, you don't wash your hands, you get no water contact on your skin. Again, this is extreme, but it's been said, and there's not really concrete research to show this, but I have looked at glucose and ketones.
Wait, you don't shower? You don't even shower? That's actually wild.
And I've seen body fat percentages and the scale measurements versus somebody doing a water fast versus a dry fast. And there seems to be about 3 times more benefits with a dry fast versus a water fast. You get about 3 times more autophagy, more fat loss, more of the benefits we spoke about because it's more extreme. So meaning a 24-hour dry fast could be equivalent to like a 3-day water fast. Again, that is just hypothetical. That is me guessing here in terms of things I've seen, but not really concrete research to show it. So if you think about it, we all do a dry fast every night for 8 hours when we sleep. Maybe you go 14 hours, 16 hours, and I eventually did a 24-hour fast and it was beneficial, but I would not do it for the 100-hour fast we're talking about here. Next question, what are your thoughts on tracking blood glucose and blood ketones during a fast?
Yup. I'm recording. You can have to do it. Tell Aisha to help you. Where'd she go? She went without you? Why not? Get a membership. Your apartment has a gym? Oh. Okay. Well, alright, I'll take out the trash. I got you. Yeah. Personally, I don't track glucose or ketones. I don't even know what ketones really is for real. But I don't track my glucose. I just do it.
I think that's a great idea. That's how I teach it to my students. You could use a machine like Keto Mojo over at ketocampmachine.com. Coupon code is KETOCAMP24, and I'll put that link down below. But glucose and ketones, you want to see glucose gradually drop during your 100-hour fast and ketones rise. I remember during the end of my 5-day water fast, the first time I did it, this is back in 2018. I was checking glucose and ketones. My glucose went as low as 52 milligrams per deciliters. Now, if a doctor saw that, they would say you are hypoglycemic. However, my ketones were over 5.5 millimoles per liter. I was strictly burning fat, running on ketones, and I felt fine. I do think it's a good idea to look at blood glucose and ketones. However, it's not required to do the fast. Next question, what is the best way to break this long fast?
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, what I'm gonna eat, first thing I'm gonna eat when I break my fast is a baked potato. That's the first thing I'm eating, a baked potato. It's good and it's light, you know? So like, but let me know if I should eat like something more liquid, like like something else. I saw a comment saying soup. Soup is good. Um Other people just say light stuff, stuff that's not really like a full meal, just light stuff. But let me know if baked potato is good. I'm about to do a baked potato.
Remember, 100 hours means you didn't eat food, you didn't go produce stomach enzymes and bile digestive processes, so your gut has completely reset and rested. So you want to break it very slow. I like breaking it with bone broth, scrambled eggs, maybe some avocados, maybe a light protein shake for about a day, and then going back into my normal routine. You want to break it very low and slow. Not with a lot of carbs, not with a lot of calories. You want to go very low and slow for the first 24 hours. Next question is, what's the longest fast ever recorded? Ooh, this is a good one. I wrote about this
How much you want to bet it's 92 days?
gentleman, Angus Barbary, in my book, Metabolic Freedom, and my previous book, Keto Flex. Angus Barbary, he was a Scotsman who went on a medically supervised water fast for 382 days. On day one, he was 450 pounds. You can see here on the screen for those watching on YouTube. On day 382, he went to 180 pounds. He had
What the heck? Could never be me.
He had water, coffee, tea, some multivitamin, and I believe nutritional yeast, but pretty much a fast. But look, he wasn't eating for 382 days in terms of the food putting in his mouth, but he was eating his stored body fat. He had a lot of body fat to use for energy. And
Bro, that's actually wild. He lost like 300 pounds. What? In a year, in under a year.
looked great. Electrolytes, blood work looked great on day 382. We have body fat for a reason. It's to use it for energy when we
That's how y'all know anything's possible. If you want your face to look T, I'm not gonna say go on a 100 whatever it was. I'm not gonna say go on that long, but if you're dedicated and you do it for long enough, as long as you need. See me, I don't need it like that. I'm just doing it because of the benefits and whatnot. But if you want it like that, lock in, do some research. You might be able to switch up your whole face. Like, dang.
we don't eat food. So I hope this inspires you to practice some variation of fasting. I have a ton of content here on my Metabolic Freedom podcast and YouTube channel on fasting. Share this episode with a friend. Inspire somebody to maybe do.
Yeah, guys, go subscribe to go subscribe to Azadi. Ben Azadi. Go subscribe to him. Great video, amazing content. I'm about to subscribe right now. Go do that. He seems like he got some good content. Like this was This was just to watch it with you guys to see exactly what happens. I mean, 100 hours in 7 days is kind of different. It's completely different. But I'm on day 7. I mean, what am I talking about? I'm on day 4, and he's talking about what happens in 4 days. So everything he just described is happening to me right now, or happened before. It's a good video. If y'all like this video, make sure y'all subscribe. But yeah, do all that. Go follow my Instagram. I'm gonna link my Instagram down in the description. I'm gonna link you know, my sister's content because she got great content too. Um, and yeah, go do that. I'll see y'all tomorrow, boys. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Amazing stuff, amazing stuff, amazing stuff.